everybody to another YouTube channel here with me, the host, Clemex Stopka. As always, I just want to say anything this video has shown, please do not do at home, cause it's about serial killers, and I don't think your parents or you yourself would want to become a serial killer someday. I really just want to give credit to Breakfast Theo. My editor will put something on the top of the screen saying creator at Breakfast Cereal. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, but only if you like my videos. Because if you don't like my videos, there's no point in subscribing. But if you guys really want to, just do it. And let's get into the video.
You, the most prolific killer of the 20th century, didn't carry a knife or a gun. It didn't stalk victims in the night. It just sat there. In the walls, in the fuel, in the water. Not Gacy, not Bundy, not even Dahmer. No, this killer was a quiet one. And while no one was watching, it slipped into our bloodstreams, rewired our brains, and may have helped create an entire generation of violent criminals.
Now, the thing is with these criminals, they could happen for many, many reasons. From what I think of, is just that it's harder to like do shit like that. It's harder to be like that. But honestly, from my understanding, serial killers aren't as popular anymore, and I think he's gonna go over that. But if he does it, I just want to say the only reason why serial killers aren't that popular now is because police officers, they have cameras, they have your license plate. Well, they could switch it up if you're driving a car. They could tell if it's stolen. They have your ID. They could have your phone. So, who knows? Alright, like I said, I give credit to the Breakfast Cereal YouTube channel. But let's just get back into the video because I gotta stop yapping.
A while back, I made a video called Where Did All the Serial Killers Go? And in that video, I asked the same question you might have asked yourself at like 2 a.m. after a true crime binge. Why don't we seem to have any household name serial killers anymore? And people had a lot of theories down in the comments. I mean, look,
I just said like
over
2 seconds ago.
500 comments. You know, some blamed the internet. Some said better police work, surveillance, DNA. One guy said it was astrology. Not even joking. He had like this whole chart with stars and shit. But one idea kept showing up over and over and over again. Lead. What if America's so-called golden age of serial killers, the 70s and 80s, wasn't just some weird cultural blip? What if Bundy, Gacy, and Ramirez and company were products of something in the air? Literally. Well, that's the theory.
So, lead, from what I understand what lead poisoning is, well, I hope none of you guys ever get lead poisoning because it's really bad to actually ever get lead poisoning. It's really bad for your body. Thing is, lead poisoning is like, let's say, something encrypted into your head, which like ruins your brain and something like it controls you and makes you into a better person, like not better, worser person, and like it can turn you into a psychopath.
Lead poisoning, especially during early childhood, played a significant role in shaping the violence of the 1970s.
Right here, he just said lead poisoning, especially during the early childhood, played a significant role.
And 1980s. That it didn't just poison a generation, it rewired their brains. It didn't just make them sick, it made them violent.
That's where the lead poisoning comes in, because I'm pretty sure, like I said, lead poisoning can change how a human thinks.
Really quick before I go any further, welcome to Breakfast Cereal. My name's Josh. If you're new here...
Hold on, let me just quickly skip through this. Okay.
I grew up like a lot of people in the 90s. Raised on shows like American Justice, Cold Case Files, and America's Most Wanted. It felt like America...
And the only show I really watched about criminals was probably Prison Break. It's on Netflix. SWAT. It's also on Netflix and Hulu, I think. And then another thing I also watched was Rookie. Alright.
was producing a new monster every 6 months. The Zodiac, the Night Stalker, BTK. These guys weren't just dangerous, they were characters. And for a long time, we just explained it away. Broken homes, abusive parents, repressed sexuality, pornography.
So from what I understand, all criminals come from houses that weren't the best for them, and maybe abused, like how he said, abused, pornography, just not having a good childhood. I think that's how serial killers even formed.
Vietnam. Every decade had its favorite scapegoat. But none of those explanations ever felt like enough. They explain the individuals, sure, but not the pattern. Because all those factors I just mentioned, abusive parents, repressed sexuality, war, porn, all of those still exist today. So as I asked before, where'd all the serial killers go? Well, that's where the lead crime hypothesis comes in.
All right,
In
let's
its
see.
simplest form, it says this: the more lead you pump into the environment, the more violent crime you'll eventually get.
That makes sense. The more lead you pump into your body, the more violent crime you could get. All right, no, that actually makes sense. This guy knows ball.
Why? Well, because lead is a neurotoxin, and not just any neurotoxin, one that's especially dangerous to developing brains. When kids are exposed to lead, even in small doses, it alters the way their brains grow. It lowers IQ. It impairs impulse control. It increases aggression. It damages the part of the brain responsible.
So you're saying if I took lead out of a pencil and ate it, like the smallest dose, these could happen to me? That's actually depressing. All right, so like I know this is not going to be helping anybody from the video, but like I said, please do not try eating lead or have a dose of it. It's very bad for you.
Responsible for empathy. Basically, it makes you dumber, angrier, and less able to care about other people. Essentially, that's the recipe for a serial killer, right?
Oh.
Henry Lee Lucas must have eaten lead. Anyway, take that cocktail and drop it into a country already dealing with poverty, racism, mental illness, and generational trauma, and you got yourself.
Now, this actually makes sense because America deals with a lot of racism, drama, blah, blah, blah. That's why serial killers probably kill more people in America, because they have a bigger chance of not getting caught. But since technology evolved now, it's harder.
There is a powder keg.
Ooh, let's see the numbers. These are the numbers.
Okay, so let's talk numbers for a second, because I know you guys love it so much when I pull out the charts and shit. Okay, so in the United States, leaded gasoline was introduced in the 1920s. By the 1950s and 60s, it was everywhere. The air in major cities was basically a fog of microscopic poison. Kids were playing outside, riding their bikes, breathing this in day after day.
Oh, because kids were breathing this in, which means the more they breathed in, it felt like the more toxic lead they would get.
Studies later found that blood levels in American children were 5 times higher in the 1960s than they are today. Okay, but here is where it gets
Blood levels were 5 times more in the 1960s?
freaky.
Goddamn.
A researcher named Rick Nevin mapped lead exposure levels onto violent crime rates.
Right.
And look at this chart.
Oh, so wait. Okay. So from what I understand the scale, lead exposure, lead exposure, 1950s. 30 years later, crime everywhere. And then it fell straight back down around, it started falling badly for the lead. It started falling badly like here, 1970. But for crime, it started like 1980s.
a perfect 20-year lag. Lead exposure goes up in 1950.
And then crime
spikes in 1970.
Yup.
Lead goes down in 1980.
So
Crime
does
drops
crime.
in 2000. Over and
That's
over
crazy.
again across multiple countries. Same pattern, same 20-year lag. Coincidence?
Yeah, no.
Well, let's have a look at the birth years of some of our most notorious serial killers.
All right, let's see.
John Wayne Gacy, born 1942.
Okay, so John Wayne Gacy was born 1942.
Dennis
Remember
Rader,
that.
BTK, 1945.
1945.
Ted Bundy, 1946. Ed Kemper, 1948. Gary Ridgway, 1949.
I'm more interested for
David
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Berkowitz, 53. Richard Ramirez, 1960. And Jeff Dahmer, 1960. I mean, that's a pretty good list of notoriety.
That's right.
All born between
They were all born between the spikes. They were all born between the spikes.
The peak
of the lead.
Of environmental lead exposure. And if you think for a second, just think about the neighborhoods that these guys grew up in. Urban, poor, industrial. Ramirez grew up near chemical plants in El Paso.
And the chemicals
Berkowitz lived in...
So that means the chemicals had lead.
A crumbling Bronx apartment.
Call me Bon Knowledge Clement.
And old plumbing. Kemper's mom moved him around constantly from one shitty rental apartment to the next. These places weren't just emotionally toxic. They were literally toxic. So why did they stop?
3, 2, 1, happy 2000!
By the 2000s, that wave of serial killers faded. I mean, you can go watch my other video on that for more, but I mean, here's the main graph from that video. Sure, we still have killers, mass shootings, terrorism, but the Bundy-type serial killer, the Gacy-esque predator, gone. At least pretty much anyway. Oh, well, what about the Long Island serial killer? That case is happening right now.
It's not major.
Yeah, I can hear you asking that, and I can see people pointing that out in the comments. Well, let's look at the suspect. This guy, Rex Heuermann.
He looks...
Born 1963.
Oh,
right
he was born
in the middle of our 1963. So, see?
That's crazy.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. If the Dahmer or Gacy-esque serial killer is a thing of the past, what's changed? Okay, so maybe it was DNA evidence, surveillance cameras, better law enforcement and forensics.
Yeah.
Maybe people are getting caught just after the first murder, before they can even become serial killers. Who knows? Maybe it was the fucking stars. But maybe it's because we removed the lead. We stopped poisoning kids' brains, and 20 years...
So what changed was basically they stopped using as much lead as people used to back then.
Later, violent crime plummeted. And look, I know what you're thinking. Plenty of people grew up with lead and didn't turn into monsters. And yeah, that's true. Just like every kid who gets hit doesn't turn into a bully.
Go get it!
But we're not talking about guarantees. I'm talking about risk, tipping points. And when someone's brain is already compromised, when they're already struggling with abuse, neglect, genetics, maybe lead was the extra weight that tipped the scale. Humans are complicated. Violence doesn't come from one source, and there's certainly no chemical formula for evil. But still, no other theory explains the timing this well. And of course, I'm not saying Bundy or Gacy or Dahmer were victims, but maybe, just maybe.
Well, to be honest, the only way you could become a serial killer is if you're an actual psychopath or, like this guy said, the lead.
They were broken before they even had the chance to become something else. Maybe their brains were wired for destruction before they ever learned right from wrong. Lead didn't make them monsters, but it might have made it easier to ignore the part of themselves that wasn't.
So like from what I understand what this guy is talking about, he said that lead doesn't make it as like lead makes it worse. Cause like he said, some of these serial killers don't know the difference between right or wrong, but the lead poisoning does make an impact on their brain.
So what do you think? Have you heard of this lead crime hypothesis before? I know a lot of you have. Am I missing something?
No, you're
Or
not.
am I bang on?
I
Does
think
it
you're bang
change how you
on.
see these guys even a little?
Yes, I do. I see
Drop
serial
your
killers
thoughts in
different.
the comments and I'll be down there with you.
All right. Thank you. Hold up. Let me do my outro. Thank you guys for watching another video by Climax Stopka. You guys know, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys want. I would really appreciate it though, but if you guys don't want to, you guys can. And also, if you guys have any suggestions, like I said in the start of the videos, if you have any suggestions for how I could maybe fix my videos, make sure to suggest them in the comments. I always leave the comments open. Alright, for any suggestions or any comments. But if they're mean, I'm gonna have to ban you. But peace out, guys. Love you.